Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Standard pranams, Prabhuji.
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। With deep gratitude, I welcome all of you for this session of Bhakti Vriksha. We are somewhere in the third chapter, I think. Can you remind me which shloka we left last time?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandar pranams, Prabhuji. We have completed third chapter, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
We have to start from fourth.
It is time to start the fourth chapter. So before we start the fourth chapter, can we have a quick flashback of what we have seen so far? We'll try to summarize in essence what we have learned so far. Not only third chapter, including second, third, everything. So I would request each of you to recollect some points which you consider as the essence of what we have learned so far. Essence of what we have learned in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, anyone can start. Hare Krishna. Just one point you can make, one sentence like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in second chapter, Krishna explains about the Sankhya Yoga, about the difference between soul and the body.
Excellent.
And how a soul is permanent and body is perishable.
Yes.
And how the duty of the soul, eternal duty of the soul, is to serve the Lord.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Anyone else can take off from here? Yes. Everyone is silent. I think it has been too long a gap, more than 1 month. So you have forgotten everything. Hare Krishna. I'm waiting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes. Just recall some important points that we have learned. Second chapter, third chapter.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Also, Arjuna asks how Krishna conscious person will be, how he speaks, how he walks, and how he his how a Sthita Prajna is. About that is described in the second chapter. A person is recognized only when he opens his mouth. We can understand how learned he is, or whether he is a fool. So such things are also described. about Sthita Prajna.
Yes. So I would like you to share in terms of our learnings. What did I internalize from Bhagavad Gita so far? What impressed me as something that I never knew before, but now I learned these things like that. What Krishna is, Krishna is building up slowly, slowly, slowly to something very high. But the build-up has already started, Like we started with Deha and Dehi, that they are two different things. And Krishna told Arjun immediately, you are talking like a Pandita, but a Pandita doesn't cry for anything that is doomed to perish someday or anything that is eternal. For neither will he cry or lament. The body will one day perish. So a Pandita will not cry over a body. Similarly, he will not cry for the soul because he knows soul will never die. So like there is no lamenting for a Pandita. So you are talking like a Pandita, you are giving so many arguments, but none of your arguments are valid because you are not recognizing Deha and Dehi are two different things. So from that, then Krishna said, treat Sukha, Dukkha on the same level. Just like winter, summer, they follow each other. Sukha, Dukkha should be treated neutrally. Like we are wearing a dress, and the dress, when it is torn, we change it, we wear a new dress, or we live in a house, the house it becomes useless, then we shift to another house. Same way the soul moves from one body to another. The body is not the permanent housing for the soul, at least in this material world. The soul keeps changing bodies. Even in one lifetime, we change bodies. Yeah, Krishna said, Yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tada dehantara prapti. Just as we change from a child's body to a boy, to a young man, to a middle-aged man, old man, sick man, then we die, we leave the body, and then we again enter into the womb of somebody. So an intelligent person doesn't get bewildered by these changes. My body keeps on changing in one lifetime. Same thing happens when I die. I get into another body. Where is the doubt? Like that, Krishna is clarifying. And then Krishna talks about the soul. So many amazing things about the soul he describes. And he says, many people say it is so wonderful to hear, wonderful to talk about, but even after hearing so much, many people don't understand anything about the soul because soul cannot be described in words. Because it has no form. We have not seen the soul anywhere. It cannot be experienced by any of the senses. Soul is beyond the senses. And none of the elements we know can harm the soul, whether it is fire or water or wind or anything. The soul cannot be destroyed. So he gave a good knowledge about the soul, and Krishna told, you are actually that soul. You are not the body. And then he taught about how to realize this soul. You start with controlling your senses. I said, if you don't control your senses, any one sense can also carry you away. Senses are so very powerful. So you have to start controlling the senses. And Krishna taught how a tortoise is controlling its senses. So in front of material sense objects, we have to act like a tortoise, withdrawing its limbs inside. And in the association of devotees, when you are in the temple, when you are in the association of the spiritual master like that, then all the senses come out. Like Ambarish Maharaj, all his senses were engaged only in the service of the Lord. So Krishna taught like that, how to utilize our senses and how not utilize our senses. And Krishna said, for a yogi, what is day for materialistic people? It is night for him. And what is night for materialistic people? It is day for the yogi. Can anyone explain this concept? Why day and night are different between materialistic people and yogis?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Prabhuji, actually, materialistic people were always thinking in the material platform.
Yes.
Just because they don't know nothing different. They don't know nothing different, which is spiritual.
Yes.
They were fully drowned in that.
Yes.
Even if we associate with them, definitely we will become like that too, very, very in a short period also.
But what is this metaphor, day and night?
Day and night, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The awareness, the knowing of the spirituality and the material itself is a day and night, as per my knowledge.
Correct. See, whatever we are experiencing through our senses, that makes our day. Day means what? My consciousness awakens to my senses. I start operating through my mind and my senses. Then I am contacting with sense objects. So my life starts. So waking up in the morning means, oh, the day has started. That means I start engaging my senses and mind in experiencing sense objects. We call it as day. But as far as the yogi is concerned, he withdraws his senses from the sense objects. He takes them back into his spine and he's revolving them in his spine, from Mooladhara to Sahasrara. He's just rotating. So he has no experience of the outside world at all. He has no engagement with outside world. He has no interest in outside sense objects. So it becomes night for him. What the people of this world consider as a day, when they are surrounded by sense objects and they are trying to enjoy them, the yogi is totally withdrawn from that. That is like night for him. Whereas in the night, the materialistic people go to sleep. And involuntarily they disconnect their senses from sense objects. Correct? In the night, the entire world goes out of existence for them. So that is called night for them. But that is the time when the yogi is internally active. So day and night are actually metaphors. The yogi is active within. His senses are all completely withdrawn from sense objects. But what is he enjoying within? He's enjoying in the self. As a yogi, he's enjoying the self, the Atma. He's enjoying within. Because Atma is Satchitananda. Only when you are connected externally, you think my happiness is in the sense objects around me. I should enjoy the sense objects. Then only I can experience happiness. We think like that. We identify ourselves with this body, which is really not me, but I identify. And then I start looking for sense objects to enjoy. So in the night, this world is not there, the sense objects are not there, even the body is not there. So that's what materialist people, it's night for him. But actually the yogi is always enjoying within. He's enjoying within. The external world does not exist for him. So in that sense, what is night for the materialist is actually day for the yogi. So the point that Krishna is trying to make is very, very important, that we need to control our senses from contacting sense objects, material sense objects, not sense objects completely, material sense objects. Okay, so do anybody have any doubt on this? Material sense objects and spiritual sense objects?
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Material sense objects means both material and then human being, living entities, even human beings.
Yeah. See, Prabhu, human being means human body, no?
Yes.
Because the real being is not human. The real being is actually soul. So when you say human being, that is a soul inside a body. We see the body only. So basically, material sense objects means anything which is tangible. Anything which is tangible for my senses and the mind, that we can call it a sense object. But what is a spiritual sense object? Does anyone know what is a spiritual sense object?
Always in the consciousness of Krishna.
So what is a spiritual sense, first of all? Do you know what is a spiritual sense?
I can't.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it the temple, dams and Krishna photos, pictures, deities?
Spiritual sense objects. And what are the spiritual senses?
Spiritual senses. Oh, the same Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the same senses only Prabhuji, but they get attracted towards serving Krishna. The same senses, eyes, nose, all sense organs only but they enjoy the service of Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, see, actually, the soul we have not seen. The soul has a complete paraphernalia of body, mind, intelligence, and senses. And it is completely free. You know, a soul which is not conditioned is completely free. It is not bound by anything. But we, as conditioned souls, we are locked up in a cage called body. So the unlimited senses of the soul are now bound in this body. So the senses are able to operate within the limitations of this body. So I have to use these fleshy eyes to see, fleshy nose to smell, fleshy ears to hear, like that. And I think these are really the senses, but no, the soul has got amazing sense potential. But when we are conditioned and trapped in this body, we are experiencing my senses as though they are available within this body. No, the body has got only 9 holes. 9 holes. Like, you know, if you light a candle and you cover it with a pot, no light will escape. But if you make some holes in the pot, then through the holes, light will come. And if you don't know that there is a candle inside, you will think, oh, the pot is shedding light. Is it not? From the 9 holes in the pot, light is coming. So I think, oh, the pot is generating light through 9 holes. So our body is like that pot with 9 holes. The city of 9 holes, Krishna says. City of 9 holes. So all our senses, we think it's part of my material existence that I have these senses. And when I die, no more senses, because it's all in the body only, gone. So it's not true. We are experiencing a very, very limited world here, material world, which is a dukkhalayam asashvatam in the language of Krishna. This is a place of suffering. This is a prison house. This is a prison house. And Bhagavatam says, Maithuni Aga means this is a prison house of sex. Everybody is bound by the desire of sex, and everybody considers sex as the highest pleasure ever possible. Even if you tell someone, look, in the spiritual world, there is no sex life, then then I don't want. Because man's highest conception is only that. And if you tell them, see, if you do bhakti nicely, one day you will become fully God conscious and you will return to the paradise of God. And there is no sex life. Finished. Then I am not really interested. Maybe with all the suffering in this world, but still I think that's a very special thing. So Maithuni Agar. Agar means prison. So this is a prison without walls. This is a prison where the conditioning inside keeps you bound with desires to enjoy. And all desire to enjoy, the root is sex life. So with that, all souls are bound here. But in the spiritual world, much, much higher pleasures are available. So the sex desire becomes useless. So Yamunacharya, he sings, Alavandar, he is the guru of Ramanujacharya. He says, once upon a time he was a king. Later on he became an Acharya, Vaishnava Acharya. He says, now when I have become a Vaishnava, when the thought of sex life comes into my mind sometimes, immediately my face curls in distaste and I spit at the thought. It's no longer tasty, you see. He has lost. Why he has lost the taste? Not that he has become sick. No, he's enjoying much, much higher pleasures. So the soul and the senses of the soul can experience much, much higher pleasures. Through the body, we have limitations. And within this body, the highest pleasure we can visualize is sex life only. And because of that bondage, even if somebody says, look, in the spiritual world, there are higher pleasures and there is no sex, we'll say, no, how can there be something like that? No, it's not really good. This is how we are all bound to this material world. So the point I'm trying to say is, again, Krishna is saying in second chapter, he says, if you have to control the senses voluntarily in the beginning, and even if you control, still the desire for sense objects will remain, because the body is conditioned to experiencing sense objects through its material senses. So the desire will remain. But once you contact a higher pleasure than that, so Krishna says there is a higher pleasure. There is a higher pleasure than sex life, which is part of material existence. Krishna says a higher taste must be experienced. Then there will be no more attachment to the lower taste. So Krishna is prescribing that in the beginning, control your senses by remaining neutral in happiness and sorrow, profit and gain, victory and defeat. Practice neutrality. See everything as, that consciousness, Brahman. It's all a manifestation, temporary manifestation. Everything will dissolve ultimately into that one, right? Mahattatva. So in that sense, Krishna says, voluntarily control the senses and practice devotional service. Yoga. Practice Buddhi Yoga. By practicing Buddhi Yoga, you will experience a higher taste, which is coming from the soul, because you are disconnecting from the body through sense control, mind control, breath control, voluntarily. And then what happens? You are freed from these material things, and then you experience the higher taste. Once the higher taste is experienced, then the lower taste becomes insignificant. You just spit at the thought. You are no longer interested in that. So that is what Krishna is recommending in the second chapter, that you experience a higher taste. And that higher taste, how do you experience? Matpara, by applying your mind on me completely. Fix your mind and intelligence on me. Krishna is a supreme source of joy. We are all souls. And I was telling you, the soul is full of happiness, Satchit Ananda. And that soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is a supreme soul. He is a supreme personality of Godhead. And we are all part and parcel of that. Unfortunately, we have got into a conditioned mode, and we have taken this material body in this material universe. Krishna has given us this material world. Another very interesting subject matter is, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, why did Krishna create this material world, which is so full of suffering and problems, and people get into crimes and so many sinful activities? Why did Krishna create this world? What could be an answer? Before I reveal what Prabhupada told, I would like to hear from you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. Prabhuji, maybe he wanted us to experience what will happen if we desire so much without the Lord, if we enjoy without the Lord.
Good attempt.
So,
thank you, Mataji. Yeah, good. Hare Krishna. Any other answers?
We have Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pancham Pranams.
Yeah.
It is because we have to experience our karmic reaction to go back to finish it off here itself and to go back to Goloka Vrindavana again.
Very good. Thank you, Mataji. Any other answers? Any other answers? Okay. I will tell you what Prabhupada told. Prabhupada shocked the questioner by saying, Krishna did not create this material world. And then he said, you created it. You created it. So the answer is, you and I and all of us here, we created this material world. We are the cause of this material. We are the cause. How? We desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. We wanted to disconnect from Krishna. We wanted to forget our being part and parcel of Krishna. As part and parcel, we are dependent on the whole. Correct? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave a story that one day the various organs in the body decided to go on strike. Why? They said, look, the eye, the ears, the nose, we are all hands, legs, we are all working hard. in cooperation. And finally, we are earning money and we are preparing some nice food. But the stomach is taking everything. Stomach is only enjoying all the food. And we are doing all the work. This is not fair. The stomach is exploiting all of us. And he's doing nothing. He's simply sitting there comfortably and taking whatever we put, and he's eating and enjoying. No, this is the end. We will not work. So Saraswati Thakur gave this story. And they went on strike. But the strike was finished by evening. Why? What happened?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, because
Hare-
stomach only supplies all the nutrients to all the body organs. Without the stomach nutrition, they'll not go.
Yeah. So all the senses had become weak. The eyes could no longer see, nose could no longer smell, hand could no longer lift, and leg could not walk. All the senses became useless, and they realized, oh my God, maybe unless we feed the stomach, we won't get nourishment. Nourishment is coming from the stomach. So without realizing that, they were going on strike. Same way, the soul draws its nourishment from Krishna. Soul is Satchitananda because Krishna is Satchitananda. Soul is his part and parcel. Krishna is eternal. He is infinite. We are infinitesimal. But still qualitatively we share in Krishna's qualities. So that is what we are. But when we want to deny this connection, because soul can exist independently by the will of Krishna. Soul has been, Prabhupada explains it so beautifully. Krishna is Swarat. Krishna is supremely independent. And what is the correct explanation of independence? Can anybody try? How would you like to define independence? What is the meaning of independence? Have you thought about it?
Prabhuji, it is not having dependency for any of my need, and whatever I wish that will happen without anybody's intervention into it.
For example?
Example is difficult.
No one should control us, Prabhuji.
No one controls us. Yeah. So is it possible for us to be independent in this world?
No, Prabhuji.
Why?
Strictly speaking, no.
Why? No, you are redefining.
We cannot make anything happen as per our wish automatically. We have to either take help of something else.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is it because we are having a freedom, a little freedom to think of a little independence for thinking, willing, and feeling, so
Yes.
that we can do it by ourselves to an extent?
We have that freedom, correct? But the question I am asking is, are you able to exercise that freedom?
No, we have some control from through Maya and from Krishna also. We are not able to execute whatever we think and we can do in this
Mataji,
material.
one correction, Krishna is not controlling directly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So whatever we are thinking, feeling, and willing, is it not a symptom of our independence? That is the question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it a sign of independence?
Yes, Prabhuji. That's a
Prabhuji,
freedom given.
that's a freedom.
No. That is if you correctly understand, you will realize that you are not free to think, you are not free to will and act. Why? Because that is why you are called conditioned. You are conditioned to think in a particular way, conditioned to feel in a particular way, conditioned to act in a particular way. How we are conditioned? We call it sometimes habits. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, S-O-W. Sow a character and reap a destiny. So like that it is told. So by whatever actions we have done, we have created a conditioning around us. By, a honeybee landed on a bottle of honey, an open bottle of honey. It sat thinking, I will enjoy this honey. And then what happened? Its legs started drowning into the honey. Its wings started drowning into the honey. And the fly realized that my existence is in jeopardy now. Very soon I may drown and die. And it tried to escape by fluttering its wings. What happened? The wings got deeper into honey. The legs drowned deeper into honey. The more it tried to escape, the more it got trapped. Okay, so this is the story of the conditioned soul. When we try to experience separately from Krishna, Krishna blessed us. Yes, Tadastu, blessed. Then what happened? The external energy of Krishna took charge of us. And she created all the situations for us to enjoy. And then we came here and started just like that fly to try to enjoy honey. And then we got trapped and trapped and trapped. We drowned. So the pleasure we were experiencing is replaced by suffering. Because the more we try to enjoy, the more we get trapped. So anyone who is trying to enjoy is getting more and more trapped in the intricacies of material existence. Prabhupada said, the moment you become a devotee and you declare that Krishna is the enjoyer, I am not the enjoyer. I am the servant of Krishna. My business is to serve Krishna. He is the supreme enjoyer. I am not an enjoyer. I am only a cooperator with Krishna in his enjoyment. Then the fly starts becoming freed. As you start acting in that realization, that is when you start becoming freer. So now, in a conditioned state, the more we act in this material world, the more we are getting trapped. So the kind of independence we long for in this material world, it does not exist. We talk about financial independence, social independence, political independence, bodily independence in terms of good health and other things, mental independence in terms of an active intelligence. None of these things are really possible in this material world because they are all controlled by my past experiences, which are lurking as habits, as desires, as vasanas, as karma. They are all there. And my thinking is controlled by these things. So what we consider as independence is not independence. Supposing somebody has 100 crores of money in his bank balance, we will think he is independent to do anything. No, he will act in a particular way only. Why? Because he is conditioned by his mind to think in a particular pattern, to act in a particular pattern. His senses drive him in a particular way. Am I making sense or?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
The definition of independence, what we were having all along until we came to Krishna consciousness, it gets completely overall when you come to Krishna consciousness. When you recognize independence is impossible in a conditioned state.
Prabhuji, then what is that free will God has given? They say, no, Prabhuji, like we all have that free will. No.
God has complete free will. He's called Swarat. In Bhagavatam, the very first shloka. Janmadyeseto anvayat itartas chartyeshvabhignya Swarat. The very first line is Swarat. That is completely independent. He is the only one who is completely independent. Swarat, because he is not conditioned at all. He will never get conditioned. Even when he comes into this material world, he acts out of his complete independence. Name phalasprha. He has no interest in either actions or in the fruits of the actions. Yes, so Krishna is completely independent. And because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we too share in that independence. Krishna's supreme independence, infinite independence, we too share, and it is infinitesimal because we are also an infinitesimal soul. But that free will remain with us if we are connected to Krishna. As long as we are connected to Krishna, that free will operates. So the free will operates in the spiritual world. When out of my free will, I declare, Krishna, I am your servant. I am here for you to enjoy. I am here to give you enjoyment. That is my whole business. Then you are correctly, constitutionally positioned. Your constitutional position is Krishnera Nityadas. Prabhupada would declare, for example, what is the nature of water? Nature of water is to be in a fluid state, to flow. When it is ice, it is not in its natural state. The nature of fire is to burn. If it is cool, then it is not in its natural state. Or for sugar or salt to be sweet and salty. These are the nature. Similarly, the nature of the soul is to be servant of Krishna. In that state, in your original constitutional position, you are at equilibrium. And then you have the same independence that Krishna has. But the moment you say, using your or misusing your independence to say, I will enjoy. Not that I will give enjoyment to Krishna. No, I will enjoy. Then we turned away from Krishna. Then the entire external energy came into action. The external energy, you know how she works beautifully? She makes you think you are independent. See, even now when I ask you this question, after having done 3 revisions of Bhagavad Gita, still when I ask you, are we independent? You still feel, yes, we have it in thinking, feeling, and willing. Yes, but we lost it when we turned away from Krishna as infinitesimal souls. We lost that independence. To regain that independence, you turn to Krishna. Declare yourself as a servant of Krishna. Krishna, I am eternally your servant. And in Siksha Ashtakam we say, Aslishyava padaratham pinashtuma adarshana marma hatam karotuva yata datava vitadhatu lampada mat prananataha tu sa eva nakaraha. Whatever you do, you crush me in a tight embrace, or you squeeze me, putting under your feet into dust, or you don't appear in front of me and you make me long for you. Whatever you do, Krishna, you are my prananath. That's an unchangeable position. I accept you as my prananath, as the master of my existence. I accept you like that. So you are free to do anything you want. But my position will not change. That is correct application of our independence. That is the direction in which we are moving. With the help of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, association of devotees, guidance of spiritual master. We are moving towards that, towards a situation of declaring to Krishna, Krishna, I am eternally your servant. Whatever you do to me, it doesn't matter at all. I am still your servant forever. That way, we regain our independence. Till then, you are controlled by your senses, you are controlled by your mind, you are controlled by your polluted intelligence, you are controlled by everything else, by external energy of the Lord, which is Mama Maya Duratya, Krishna says. My Maya is, you cannot cross over my Maya. It is. You cannot manage that. With your tiny independence, you cannot cross it. So this is the point that Krishna has taught us in the 2nd chapter. Please control your senses until you experience a higher taste. And once you experience a higher taste and you develop that relish, then you will no longer have any material desires. Then you get your independence. That is, what is that higher taste? That is the higher taste of serving Krishna. Higher taste of serving Krishna. And that comes from chanting of the holy names. The chanting of the holy name, the name, form, qualities, pastimes, paraphernalia, the dhamma, Everything is one, absolute one. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Dhamma, everything is one. Krishna has invested all his energies into his holy names. And the holy name is the container of everything, and it is the doorway. It is the doorway through which you enter. Means the name contains everything. The name will reveal to you. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So when you chant the holy name sincerely, attentively, with faith, with humility. Why humility? Sikshashtakam says, Trinatapi Sunichena, Taroriva Sahishnuna, Amanina, Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. You have to chant incessantly. And how is it possible? By becoming humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and giving all respects to others and not expecting anything for yourself. In that mood, you can chant the holy name incessantly. So that means we have to develop this humility also. So in a humble spirit, with complete faith and with all attention, without allowing our mind to wander, we should chant the holy name. In this way, we will develop taste for the holy name. Holy name will start slowly revealing the form of Krishna and the qualities of Krishna and the pastimes of Krishna, and the holy Dham, Vrindavan, will be opened in front of us by the holy name. So there is nothing else to do but to chant the holy name. And also, if you do anything other than chanting the holy name, sorry, you will not get it. Not get it. Prabhupada and the Parampara has taken all the efforts, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the efforts. Supreme Lord descended as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave up his wonderful wife, wonderful mother, wonderful association of devotees in Avadvip. He took sannyas only to propagate the chanting of the holy names, Yuga Dharma. The Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga is chanting of the holy names. If any of us thinks that, okay, that is one of the methods, but I will try by some other method, finish. You know, right from the start, we have gone on the wrong track. The whole parampara, the effort is to give us faith in the holy name and teach us how to chant the holy name without offenses, in complete humility, attentively. That is what the parampara has come to teach us. This is Yuga Dharma, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Yuga Avatar. He is not just Yuga Avatar, he is a supreme personality of Godhead himself, personally descending out of his causeless mercy for the fallen conditioned souls of this material world, to save us and to take us back home. So if we think that, oh, I have read Bhagavad Gita, I have read Bhagavatam, I have heard so many lectures, I read so many books, I have now deep understanding. Most people don't know, but I have a great understanding. There is no need to chant. Without chanting only, I have understood everything. So now I will just go on reading books and I can give classes. I know everything. Chanting is simply one of the things, not that I have to chant. If anybody thinks like that, it means they must have committed aparadh. They must have committed aparadh at the lotus feet of some Vaishnava. So they are not having the taste for chanting, or they are not having the faith or humility for chanting. So it is that process for which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended personally. Krishna descended personally as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give us this fact. So second chapter, Krishna taught us that higher taste is what we all need, and that higher taste is experiencing Krishna. And experiencing Krishna, we do it through chanting of the holy names in this Kali Yuga. So this is the, and third chapter, we started talking about Karma Yoga, because Arjuna was becoming confused. Should I fight or should I take sannyas? Krishna, you have not clarified. I always wanted to take sannyas, but you are speaking in two languages. You are not being very clear. I would like to know, what is it better for me? Then Krishna is talking about what is Karma Yoga. Then Krishna says, Karma Yoga means what? Doing your duty without attachment to the results. And Krishna gives a warning, very timely warning. He says, if you try to do your duty without attachment to the fruits, you will tend to become lazy. Because you'll think, oh, if the fruits are not for me, then why should I work so seriously? Till now, I wanted to enjoy the fruits. I was working very hard. I wanted promotion, I wanted a big bank balance, I wanted to buy a car, I wanted to have a reputation in society. I was working hard. Now Krishna has told me, don't look at all those fruits, just do your duty. Now I am losing interest. Krishna says, no, you have to work like a man who is interested in the fruits. Krishna says, Karmaneva vikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala heturbuhu, ma te sangostu akarmani. Don't be attached to not working because, oh, I am not going to enjoy the fruits, so I will not work. No, you have to work with all seriousness and offer the fruits to Krishna. So that is Karma Yoga. So Krishna has taught us in 3rd chapter that do your duty. Even though if you become completely God conscious, there is no duty to be performed. But Krishna says, a person who has become completely God conscious is neither attached to working nor to not working. Then Krishna says, but it is better to work than to not work. As a self-realized soul, better that you continue to work. And also engage the people around you in work. Even though they may be in inferior consciousness, don't try to prematurely bring them to your level. So by acting like them, by acting like a person who is attached to the fruits, even though you are not attached, but still acting according to dharma, but as though you are interested in the results. By doing that, you engage others also in various kinds of activities. This is what Krishna says. And Krishna gives the example of himself, that I am doing so much work. There is no need for me to work, but I am still doing. Like that Krishna taught, Nishkamya karma. Through that process, you can become self-realized and you can come back to me. Then when Arjuna asked, why this karma, akarma, vikarma thing? So Arjuna asked, why is a man impelled to act against his own interest? What is pushing him to do that? Then Krishna talked about kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhava. Because of the mode of passion, which is attachment to fruits. So you act out of greed, out of lust. And if you attain your goal, you become more greedy. If you don't attain your goal, you become angry, wrath. Both are destroyers. It's a gateway to hell. And this greed will never end. It will go on increasing. So overcome this. How to overcome? By cultivating superior intelligence of the soul. By realizing that I am the soul, I am not the body. By that higher intelligence, you overcome this lust. That is what Krishna said. So 3rd chapter is basically further developing. How do I become soul conscious? How do I become God conscious? The answer is realize. Become neutral to all material things. And in that sense, control your senses, control your mind and intelligence, and engage in devotional service. Consciously of God, serving God. By that way, you will become totally purified. So that is the method that Krishna recommended in 3rd chapter. So now we go to 4th chapter. 4th chapter, and I will try to go a little faster. We have another half an hour, a little more. So I will try to go a little faster because what is happening, I understand. If I halt in every shloka, then somehow you are not catching the continuity. The sloka to sloka continuity is somewhere being lost. This is what I am guessing. So let us flow so that the essence of what Krishna is trying to tell becomes clear to us. Like in Karma Yoga, Krishna said, Chaturvarna Maya Srishta. The 4 varnas are created by me. Why? Because Krishna said, you perform your prescribed duty. Not that you do anything you want. Karma Yoga means performing your prescribed duty, nitya naimitika karma, whatever it is, but without being attached to enjoying the fruits of your action. So what is my prescribed duty? That duty is according to your varna, ashrama. So Krishna says, these varnas were created by me based on your qualities and your work. So because the qualities come from the 3 modes of material nature, sattva, rajo, tamo, guna. So depending on your guna, I am going to bracket you in a particular varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Shudra, based on your quality. by your past birth, if you have developed a strong sattva, then I will call you a Brahman. If there is a dominant sattva guna in you, I will make you a Brahmana. And I will help you to develop further in sattva guna. Supposing you are mainly dominated by Rajoguna, but you have a little sattva guna, then I will make you a Kshatriya. So that your Rajogun can be properly channelized with the help of sattva guna by serving under a Brahmana. You will employ your natural proclivity, your quality of Rajo, but under the guidance of Sattva. By doing that, your Rajo will diminish, your Sattva will increase. You will be a Raja Rishi. So a Rajogun person becomes an administrator under the guidance of Brahmana. So that is Rajogun. Then you come to Vaishya, a person who has no Sattva at all. He is mainly Rajogun and Tamogun. He has a desire to achieve a lot, but all completely material. So he becomes a Vaishya. And Krishna says, you are a Vaishya and your business is to maintain cows and execute agricultural activities and trade in these products. You are a Vaishya and you will work under guidance of Kshatriya. And ultimately, you come to the last fellow who is neither having Sattva nor having Rajogun, all of us, at least me. They have no Rajo also. They don't have that spirit to fight and go ahead. They just want a peaceful material life. With my family, I want to live. I want enough to eat. I want enough entertainment. And I want to bring up my family without much anxiety about where my food will come for tomorrow. That's all I want. If somebody can assure me these things, I will sincerely work for that. If someone can give me assurance that, man, don't worry, I will take care of you and your family. I will give you a good life. I will give you your sense gratification, everything. Work for me. Then I will sincerely work for that person. Faithfully, I will work for that person. They are all called Shudra. So in the society, maybe 90% is Shudra. Society, 90%. See, whether I am a MBA or a MTech or a PhD, I am looking for a job only. I am looking for who will give me a job and give me a salary, with which I can maintain a family and my sense gratification. Prabhupada says about a donkey. Donkey, all day it will carry the weight for the dhobi. All the laundry it will carry to the river and then back. And end of the day, he will give a carrot or maybe a bunch of grass, which is available everywhere. But the poor donkey will work all day, and end of the day, when the master gives a little grass, you know, oh, what a great master he is. He has given me food. Like that, it will enjoy it. So the donkey mentality is Shudra. So Shudra has a dominant tamogun. He is completely absorbed in darkness. So who will control him? So this Shudra, out of compassion, Krishna says, look, here is a dominantly tamoguni person. So let him serve under Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya. Because Vaishya is also controlled by Brahmana indirectly through Kshatriya. And Kshatriya is directly controlled by Brahmana. And Shudra is indirectly controlled through Vaishya, through Kshatriya, ultimately Brahmana. So the whole society is operating under the guidance of Brahmana. And Brahmana has no material desires. Just imagine a society like this. And this is, at least this was the greatness of India. That we had Varnashrama system. Varnashrama system. Chaturvarna system. This is the glory of India, which even today you read any historic accounts of whether Megasthenes or Fahian or Marco Polo or Yuan Song or any of those people who came to India 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. And you also look at the relics of archaeology all over India. What a prosperous nation it was. Both in science, in spirituality, in material accomplishments, in wealth, everything India was always in forefront. All because of Chaturvarna. Shudra was doing Shudra activity, Kshatriya was doing Kshatriya activity, Vaishya doing Vaishya activity, and Brahmana doing Brahmana activity. And they are all cooperating among themselves. Not that the Brahmana is alone, Kshatriya is alone, Vaishya. No. It's a whole organism. The head, Brahmana, shoulders, Kshatriya, stomach, Vaishya, legs, Shudra. It's an organism. The society is an organism. Everybody progresses. It is not at the cost of someone that somebody else is progressing. No. The Shudra also progresses, the Brahmana also progresses. Everybody is making advancement. That is a Chaturvarna system. Krishna explained. So do your duty. Don't try to do another man's duty. Do your own duty. That is good for you. And Krishna also said, if you artificially act as though you are sense-controlled, you are a cheater. You are a hypocrite. You are trying to earn reputation from the society. But you are actually posing, because a conditioned soul cannot simply sit even for a moment. Because conditioned soul is always driven by the modes to act. So you cannot be like a sadhu, constantly meditating, not possible. So Krishna says, Prabhupada says, even a street sweeper who is sincerely doing the job is better than a charlatan imitator meditator. So these are the points that we got in chapter 3. Chapter 4 is transcendental knowledge. So let us try to speed up a bit so that we don't miss the links, how everything is connected to one another. Because we have already done several revisions, we should be able to grasp the essence of what is being taught. So I am just picking up another book in which I have only the slokas. I don't have the purports. And let us see whether we are able to achieve our goal. 4:30, no? So our time is up. So next week we will start with chapter 4. But if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask, and then we will proceed to Leelamrit. Any doubts, any points, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your kind self has told us now.
Prabhu?
Prabhuji, am I audible? My tone is a little bit awesome.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Please, can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Prabhuji,
Huh.
your kind self has told now
Huh.
that we are all the Shudras. At least we people in Krishna conscious. What is our stage, Prabhuji? What is our stage?
Prabhupada was asked a very similar question by his disciples. They asked Prabhupada, we were such fallen souls, fully absorbed in sense gratification. How did we become qualified for Krishna consciousness? How did we get this? What was our qualification? Prabhupada answered, not in pride. Prabhupada answered in all humility. Prabhupada said, you had no qualification. And Prabhupada added, I made your qualification. I made you. So it's a very good question, Prabhu, you asked, because it gave me an opportunity for me to speak my heart. We have no qualification at all. We, especially the conditioned souls in the Kali Yuga, we have no qualification. That we have taken birth in Kali Yuga shows how much anti-God we are. We are so much absorbed in sense gratification, we would rather kill God. If we see God, first thing we will want to do, kill him. Prabhupada said, we are all mini Hiranyakashipus. Hiranyakashipu, what he wanted to do? He wanted to kill Hari. How can I kill Hari? Kamsa was also, all his demoniac friends were advising him, we will kill Hari. Hari is living in the hearts of Brahmanas. We will kill the Brahmanas. And we will weaken them by destroying all yajna. Because they get nourishment through the yajna only. We will stop all yajna. Like that they are trying to kill God. That is our consciousness. Prabhupada said, I made your qualification. He did not say it in pride. You know how Prabhupada made their qualification? Prabhupada, while he was on the Jaladuta ship going to America, to Boston, he wrote a couple of poems. Those poems, please read them. You will get them, access them in now. Everything you can get in Google. ISKCON Desai Sridhara. Prabhupada's Jaladutas. Prabhupada says, to Krishna he prays, "Oh Krishna, I don't know why you have brought me here. All these people are absorbed in the worst of Tamogun and Rajogun. How will they understand your message, your transcendental message? Please put the words in my mouth that I can speak to them." Prabhupada's prayer. I have no qualification. I have neither bhakti nor Vedanta. Krishna, you put the words into my mouth to speak to them. And also, Krishna, please give them the comprehension. Please give them the ability to understand what I speak to them. This was Prabhupada's prayers before starting his preaching work in America. So Prabhupada made their qualification by praying to Krishna. A pure devotee's prayers are answered. So please understand that we are living in such extremely fortunate times. We are simply living on mercy. Like Prabhupada said, a man who is completely filthy and dirty, but if he is standing under a shower, he will become clean. That is the faith. He is standing under a shower. If you are in ISKCON, if you are following the message of Srila Prabhupada by reading the books and hearing lectures and trying to chant, then you are under the shower. You have a guarantee that you will become pure and go back home. What is our qualification? Our qualification is we are accepting the mercy which is flowing to us. The shower is the mercy which is showering on us from the parampara, from the Lord. Because, see, we are all his children anyway. However much fallen we are still Krishna's children. And Krishna knows it. We have forgotten. But how will Krishna forget? So Krishna cares for us. Krishna, the more we are fallen, the more merciful Krishna becomes. You see, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jagai Madai, the most fallen souls, there is so much description of their sinful activities. But Nityananda Prabhu, who is simply the expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balram, he says, I will transform them. I will bring Chaitanya's mercy to them. So that the whole world will recognize that he is Patita Pavan. He picks up the most fallen souls. That's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Yuga Avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is more merciful than even Krishna himself. Mahavadanya. Vadanya means magnanimous. Mahavadanya, most magnanimous. So he doesn't see your qualification. So let us not miss this opportunity. Let us all chant, 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 chant. There's nothing else to do in this lifetime. Let us chant. Qualitatively, quantitatively, let us keep on trying to increase our chanting. And let us take the association of devotees to do this. Let us read the scriptures. Let us hear the lectures of senior Vaishnavas, pure devotees. Let us take advantage of all these things to improve the quality of our chanting. That is the only thing to be done, Prabhu. And thank you so much for asking this question. Did I make sense, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are blessed. We are blessed. We are elevated by your grace, Prabhuji. I am grateful to you, Prabhuji, by hearing your words. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I am a very insignificant instrument, but I'm really happy to be speaking Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So I am going to